All right, so let's look at example. I'll do, since I did a perpendicular one, let me do a parallel one. All right, so this one is you're given an equation and a point, find the equation. So what is the equation of the line that passes through this point and is parallel, which means the slopes are exactly the same to this line. So again, by hand, you're going to follow the steps by hand in A. So it's the same as this, which is first put it in y equals mx plus b so we can look at the slope. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And again, you're going to need some space. So if you want, you can write on the side of your book over here. I'm just going to squeeze it in here. All right, so isolating for y, I'm going to get rid of 5x by subtracting 5x on both sides. But you guys know that I like to move it to the other side. So it's going to be minus 5x. This goes away. So it's going to be negative 3y is equal to, and I'm going to put the 5x first because it's in y it's in y equals mx plus b. All right, and then divide everything by, to isolate y, by negative 3. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 3. All right, simplify that. So this is going to be y is equal to a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So 5 over 3x. Positive divided by negative is a negative. 3 divided by 3 is 1. All right, so there it is. Now I can see my slope. So mx, right? So mx. So there's my slope. And I want one that is what? Parallel. So now what I have to do is use this point right here, which is x and y, right? To find out what my b is. Because remember, when slopes are parallel, they can have different y-intercepts. They have to have different y-intercepts. So I need to find, I know my slope for my other line is 5 over 3, but I need to find the other y-intercept. And again, you should have some space right here that you can write in. All right, so this is, I know that y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, so I know my slope has to be 5 over 3. And then it has to go through this point. So y is equal to 1. So where I see y, I'm going to put 1. X is equal to negative 4. So where I put cx, I put negative 4 plus b. Now I'm just going to put this in the calculator. Times negative 4. And that's going to give me, make it a fraction, negative 20 over 3. So b is going to be, so again, just keep squeezing it on the left side. 1 equals negative 20 over 3 plus b. Solve for b, we're going to take this to the other side or add 20 over 3 to both sides. So this is going to be, take it to the other side, it's going to be plus. So 1 plus 20 over 3 is equal to your b. So I'm just going to add, I'm just going to say 1 plus 20 divided by 3, make that a fraction. So this is b is equal to 23 over 3. So now I've got my b and I've got my slope, which is what? Parallel to this. So now I can just write my equation. So the equation of my line is going to be y equals my same slope, 5 over 3x, and my new y-intercept, 23 over 3. Okay, so that is a line that goes through negative 4, 1, and is parallel to that. So again, if this is too much or you think that you prefer to do it by calculator, that's fine. I'm going to quickly show you how to do it by calculator to make sure that you're okay. So it says type the equation into Desmos. So I'm going to check my answer because I'm definitely not doing your question. So the equation was 5x minus 3y equals 3. All right, so type it into Desmos, zoom out to see the line because I can't see the line. So let's hit home. All right, there's my line. Find 2 points and input into the table. So 2 points, boom. So I need to input it into a table. So that's going to be plus and then table. So 0, 1. Now, I am just going to say, don't put in fractions, okay? Because fractions are, what do you call this? Simplified or rounded in the calculator. So if your intercepts are fractions, you got to find a corner. So let's make this go up by 1. So I'm going to look for a corner right here. All right. And you confirm it's a corner by clicking on it. If you can't click on it and find those whole numbers, then it's not a corner. So my corner is 3, 4. All right. Now that I've put in my, what do you call this? When I've put in my 2 points, what do I do next? All right, I type in y1. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to find the slope. Squiggly line, mx1 plus b. All right, so m is my slope. So let's make sure that my slope is correct. All right, something's wrong because you can see the lines aren't matching, right? So let me double check my point. So let's get rid of that. Let me zoom fit here. Wait a minute. What did I type? This is 0, 1. Oh, y'all, I'm tripping. I was supposed to type what? 0, -1. Miss Ainley is tripping, which is why it's important to check to make sure that it goes through your 2 points the entire time. So the zoom fitted again, boom, it goes through my, what are these called? My blue dots. I'm going to change this color by holding the mouse down and then change it to red and make sure it goes through it. Boom, perfect, matched. Okay, so don't move until you know that all 3 things have matched. Okay, so my slope is this 1.66667. How do I make this into a fraction? I click fraction, right? Then I know this is a repeat in decimal. This does not make sense, so I keep going until it gets me a number that makes sense. Boom, it goes away, then it comes back, so 5/3. All right, so did I get 5/3? Yes, I did. You can see it's the same thing. All right, so now that I've done that, it says then use that to determine the slope. If it's parallel, it's the same, which it is, or perpendicular, flip and change the sign. So since I'm on parallel, it's the same. Then you keep going to right here. So you follow the steps by A. So I've found the slope. Now I need to find the y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, you input another table with the point, that's supposed to say point, that the new line must pass through. So I'm going to All right, so I'm going to put in a new table. So come to the next line, input a table. Keep in mind it's changed it from x1 to x2 because I already have x1 right here. So if I want to reference this table, I have to use 2. Do not put 1. All right, so put in my new point, which was -4, 1. All right, then what does it say next? Type y2 mx2 plus b. So remember, I'm only matching this. So if this says 3, you want to type 3. So now I'm going to type y squiggly line, but this time it's y2. mx2 plus b. Okay, depending on what you use on the table, look at b for the new y-intercept. Okay, so it says look at b, but this is not right just yet because I can see my slopes are off. It says using the m you found in the original question. Okay, write the new equation. Okay, so I need to add some notes here. Before you look at b, so we're going to say do an arrow from there. Use type in the slope you want for m. All right, so before you look at b, you need to type in the slope that you want for m. So right here, I'm looking for the slope to be parallel, right? So I want this slope right here, 5/3. So that's what I need to type here. So I'm telling the calculator, hey, I want the slope to be parallel. Tell me what is the y-intercept. So when I give it the slope, what does it tell me the y-intercept is? That, which again is a repeat in decimal that we just typed into decimals. Hit the fraction bar. All right, that looks a little weird because it's repeating. We're going to go till it goes away, then it's going to come back, and there's our answer. So 23/3 is our B, which makes sense, see? So mathematically, you can do this work, or we can put 2 tables into decimals. Now, I'm going to double check that this all works out. Does it look parallel? All right, so I'm going to type in this equation now. All right, boom, and now the B is 23/3, and I'm just gonna get rid of the x2 part and the squiggly line because I just want to double check, do they look parallel? So I'm gonna hide everything else except my 2 lines. So hide that, hide this. All right, so and hide that. All right, and then let's change this color, long click it, make it completely different. Let me make it green. All right, now I just have my 2 lines. Do they look parallel to each other? Like they'll never meet? I'm going to keep zooming out. Absolutely. And now I need to make sure this green line goes to the point -4, 1, right? So I'm going to zoom in. This green line must go through -4, 1. So I'm just going to zoom in, -4, 1. Perfect. All right, so the green line goes through -4, 1. So your preference, I guess both of them are kind of, a couple of steps in. You can use the calculator or you can do it by hand. Whichever one you choose, get really, really good at it. All right, so you're gonna now go ahead and practice example 8. Please keep in mind that this question is asking perpendicular. So whenever you're given the slope, so when you find the slope is 5/3, perpendicular means you're gonna flip them. So it's gonna be 3/5 and then change the sign negative. All right, but this is a different question. Just make sure you use these numbers. Let's practice.